Good evening. Today, my topic of discussion is COVID 19 infection in the American president. It is not the issue that American president is superhuman being. Of course, he is as simple human being as anybody. But my point of discussion is not to go into that, but to see its other ramifications, global ramifications of such infection. As we all know that democratic countries cannot do draconian lockdowns like China could do. They cannot enforce strictly and forcibly wearing of masks. And unfortunately, some countries are more democratic, so people think that defying the directions of the government is more a matter of pleasure than their own future. There is no doubt that from February onwards, the entire world understood that COVID-19 is a respiratory disease and it happens through air or breathes which we exhale, droplets, etc. But unfortunately, human beings are so callous and so negligent to the basics that they don't learn until they feel the hurt and wound. So the world cannot say that COVID could not be managed because of public health management issues. No. Globally, thanks to the social media and other sources of information, the whole world knew that COVID-19 can be and should be contained through respiratory protocols like wearing masks or covering the face when you are in public exposure. So there is no dearth of information in the public domain. And today if somebody says that I was not aware, he is simply lying. Whether it is America or India or villages of India, everybody was aware that this disease could be controlled by wearing some cover on the face so that you are not exposed to the droplets and breaths of the person standing in front of you, and similarly you don't expose your breaths to the person standing in front of you. So information is not the issue. Issue is the individual discipline, individual understanding and a kind of disciplined attitude. Unfortunately, in America, Europe, people started taking the protocol of masks something as a aggression on their individual liberty and choices. Even I have come to know that in America there are only 50% people who want to be vaccinated. They think that it's their choice. We see the people who say that defund the police. Defunding the police is anarchy. Life, liberty and property is defended by whom? Law enforcement agency. You have all right to oppose the wrongful actions of law enforcement agencies or officers, but you cannot wipe out the entire ecosystem of law enforcement. In fact, in such hours, we need more support to the rightful people in the law enforcement agencies. so that they don't feel scared. Everywhere, tell me any domain of life where there are not black sheep. On the basis of black sheep, we cannot write off the entire entity. Before deviating from the topic, my topic is that the infection of COVID-19 in US President body makes a lot of sense. What I am scared? First of all, you may call me selfish, but I love Mr. Donald Trump because he loves India and he has a more prudent and better understanding of the India, and I will support any global leader only on the precondition that he has a full understanding of the Indian interest and Indian nation. India is a country which is not aggressive. India is not expansionist. India is not hegemonialistic. India wants to live with all the democratic values and respect to international ethos for what the world has evolved so far. India respects human rights. India respects United Nations. India respects democracy. India respects human rights. India respects pluralism. India respects democracy. India wants international cooperation, development, and international respect of national boundaries, national institutions. So India stands for all that which word stands for. Any rational arrangement of the world, whatsoever is made, India is aligned to that. And in US President, I find a very, very solid ally of India. But the world is going in very turbulent times because of COVID-19 and expansionism of China. What I'm afraid of that, taking the advantage of Trump being in quarantine or less effective physically, China shouldn't misadventure in South China Sea and try to provoke Taiwan or other countries living in South China Sea adjacent. I have heard news that a lot of disputes have started emerging because Chinese government want to take advantage of a very disadvantageous situation. When the world is crying, when the world is bleeding under the pressure of COVID-19, it's very, very shameful that any country is becoming geographically or geostrategically ambitious or vulturous. But unfortunately we have. So why I am afraid of the COVID-19 infection in US President is that China shouldn't take advantage. And because I find Trump a very, very true ally of India, therefore I am more worried what it will have its ramification on the American elections. But quoting some debate, I would like to tell, let us not judge people by personalities but by the policies. If you think American President Mr. Donald Trump, on the basis of his policies with regard to America and world, he is a president who is less conflict creator. He can go to negotiate with North Korean president. He is the person who has killed Baghdadi, biggest challenge of global peace, international terrorist. He has understood the true nature of Pakistan, that Pakistan has been misusing the American funds for funding terrorists. And he is a person who truly understands. Now, that China in the garb of being developing country was actually developing a lot of strategic interest which can be a global threat. And he is a person who has the balls and guts to declare that it is a China virus. If China has spread the virus to the world, why China is ashamed of being calling COVID-19 as a China virus? Unfortunately, though it's a very internal matter of American, I wish that America needs Donald Trump right now more than anybody else. The policies of Donald Trump with regard to law enforcement, law and order, Antifa, creation of more jobs, Space Force, revamping of military by increasing the military budget, containing China, allying with the anti-Chinese forces in Asia Pacific, and making America great again. See, just being complacent that nobody can beat America is something which Toynbee has already said, that civilization grow, become complacent, and then they degenerate. America shouldn't think that just shutting the eye like ostrich will make them away from difficulties. Though it may be premature or God-willing act that this COVID-19 was accidentally spread by China, but now America should think that China was strategically weaponizing the economic manufacturing hub in a such way so that it can browbeat, rather discipline America. China was trying to unify the economic emergence with its political ambitions. Unfortunately, China has a command economy zealed with the capitalist intentions, supported by communist regime, is a deadly danger to the whole world. Because a country which is not transparent, a country where there is no free media, a country where is no free judiciary, a country where there is no free social media, I'm sorry, I cannot trust that country. You may criticize the media in different ways, you can criticize the social media in different ways, you can criticize everything, but I must say that ultimately life, liberty and property are more protected when we have a country with all these values in action. We need media, we need independent judiciary, we need free press, we need social media, another dimension of democracy, to be accountable, which works better checks and balances on us than simply formal distributions of powers. In a democratic country, independent media makes a lot of sense. Now coming back to the COVID-19, we may debate whether Mr. Trump did not take the virus seriously, whether he was totally very, very prejudiced with regard to evaluation of the virus, all that. But I'm sure that the people, security forces around him would have taken care of that. But everywhere it is spreading. In a country like democracy, there are possibilities that, and once you are in a election mode, the way America is facing the threats from Antifa and lawlessness, America needs more Mr. Trump than anybody. America needs to be manufacturing hub. Do not be swayed away by buy American, hire American, etc., etc. Now this is time. We need America to be a superpower till any other democratic country becomes superpower. The topmost superpower of the world should be a democratic country. This is my concern. I do not want an authoritarian regime to be topmost superpower who can dictate terms, because I fully believe in the theory power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. I am a person who believes that there should be a social equity, economic equity, But I love democracy more than anything else, because democracy is that kind of generic system which empowers, unleashes these forces to operate. If we have a independent media, if we have independent judiciary, if we have independent authorities to enforce rule of law, it protects life, liberty and property of people better than anyone. So my concern is that if a weak candidature is given endorsement in America against Mr. Trump, it will harm the growth of America, because Paris Agreement will harm America more than any other country. I am a lover of climate justice, but I always say that finally the prosperity makes us environmental friendly, and poverty drives certain economic forces of production which may hamper the environment. Gradually, developed countries have started shifting their manufacturing sector to third world countries, and especially this opportunity was taken by China. And they became a very clean country. But what in turn they are facing now is that the loss of jobs. Economic concentration is there because technology is monopolized by a few people, few corporates, and they grow. But in the middle level of economy, the manufacturing sector is gone, because every economic entity is not multinational. We need national entities. What in America has happened, entities became bigger and bigger. They became monopolistic of their technologies, and they shifted the manual jobs, manual manufacturing processes to other countries where they could find cheap labor. And China was the biggest beneficiary. So they became the controller of the financial operations and technology operations. So multinationals versus nationals. We need national manufacturing entities. And this is exactly what Mr. Trump wants for America, and this is exactly what Atmanirbhar Bharat is all about. We need manufacturing sectors to produce, to be consumed by the population of the country. Export is the next dimension. If India has 1.5 billion population, let us manufacture first for these 1.5 billion people. So American president is saying that let the Americans should be given everything what they need from the America-based manufacturing ecosystem. Not they should be importing all these things. So it is like the entire the multinationals actually took the opportunities. They became profit-oriented while the national interests were compromised. So in the national interest is that develop the technology, create manufacturing hubs in the nation. Even if labor-wise it is very, very higher, still it is a beneficial with regard to the national interest of the particular country. But what happened, these multinationals, behemoths, they could have enough financial leverages, political leverages. They started thinking that globe is okay. If they can manufacture their iPhones in China and supply to the global market in the lesser cost, why they should manufacture in America? Yes, China, Apple software is their domain. They will monopolize that. So that is how multinationals actually became anti-nationals everywhere. We are okay. When you are national, then you at least manufacture and supply to the local market, indigenous market. But when you become multinational, then you start thinking sometime in contrast to the national interest. So American president is more strategic in this regard. He wants that America should hire and manufacture for Americans in America. And there is nothing wrong. And he has said in United Nations address also that if America first, why not India? For India, India first. For China, China first. The problem comes when China starts dominating the Indian manufacturing ecosystem. When any other country dominates the manufacturing system of other country, and that country becomes net buyer, trader only. And I always believe that manufacturing sector is the spine of the economy. If a country is not having the manufacturing sector, it cannot provide huge quantities of employments to its population. So manufacturing, net manufacturer in all dimensions. Import raw material, I don't care, but manufacture it in India. From cradle to grave, let us manufacture each and everything in our own country. Let us not be vulnerable to any other country by weaponizing the manufacturing ecosystem. The way the China is trying to weaponize the API of medical or pharma sector is very, very horrible. The way China tries to weaponize the supply of PPE or masks, etc. God knows the way the wrong things were sent. Firstly, they were bought, created a shortage worldwide, and then when the world needed them, they sold the same thing at very higher prices. So, why I need? Because I need, at least he has a guts to say it's a China virus. In his address to the assembly, my faith in him became more stronger when he said China should be held accountable for the spread of the virus. The way he started using the Defense Production Act in America, and the way America became ventilator king, the way Moderna, Regeneron, Pfizer, Gilead Sciences, all these global legacies, global pharma giants were supported by American government, Operation Warp Speed. It is commendable. Unfortunately, this great person became infected from COVID. There may be other factors, but virus is a virus. The moment you lose your calculation, it attacks on you. But I'm sure that multi-therapeutic and vaccine ecosystem being developed by America will definitely expedite their deliveries. This person has done so. He has tried to fund various manufacturing sectors helping America and world, and then vaccine, therapeutics, etc., etc. He is a decision maker. I have a personal biases for those who take decisions. World has been harmed by more those who are decision maker, not a critical decision makers. Fast decision makers are always better than no decision maker. This person has tried to take personality traits. Everybody has his own signature. If you are very, very, flamboyant, energetic, it's okay. If you are critical, fine. Let us judge a person by his behavior, by his policies, and the government personalities should not be judged by the behavior but by the policies. And anybody, I can challenge any American or global person that you cannot criticize the policies of the American president, whether internationally or nationally, if you are a lover of human rights, democracy, and prosperity of the whole world. You cannot make America accountable for everything. You know that America should be milked, but Americans should get nothing. Why? If American president is negotiating with the WHO, if American president is telling that WTO is not in the benefit of America, what's wrong? Every country has the right to weigh benefits and losses. Another important thing I wanted to discuss today is that India stands the same weightage which Europe stood for America with regard to threats from Russia. In the peak of Cold War, Europe stood with America. And that is what NATO was all about. Same way, in the next process, Cold War against with China, Cold War between America and China, this is bound to be, because the way Chinese government is manifesting its ambitions and misadventurism, the Cold War and God forbid, hot war is bound to happen. If America is to show its international leadership, it has to discipline China. It has to stop China. Yes, this is the boundary where you cannot exceed, whether it's South China Sea or anywhere. And in this scenario, India emerges to be the same force which Europe was with regard to Russian threats to the USA. India has the same balancing role, helping role to America. South China Sea, South Asian countries, especially the Pacific Asian countries from Australia, Japan, and South China Sea countries. It is India which can be a dependable ally to America. And India has the potentiality to hold upon that. This is why we need 4 more years for Mr. Trump. God bless him, a good health. And in America, there are a lot of, China has done like termite in American society. China has been helping those people who are anti-Americans. China has been penetrating in their academic institutions, research institutions. China has been funding the several anarchical agitations in America. China wants America to be in civil war perpetually. China doesn't want anybody to stand up and say, Mr. China, you will be held accountable. Not a single word of good wishes from Xi Jinping to American president, which is a normal national protocol. I wish that if America has to act as a topmost superpower of the world, which it is required to be, being democratic. I love America because America is democratic. That's all. Has America not been democratic? I could not have the same respect for that. And being a member of democratic country, being a citizen of democratic country, I have a lot of love for democracy. And in that situation, I fully agree that India and America should partner to contain this kind of irresponsible behavior by China during the COVID and other aberrations China is making, whether South China Sea or expansionism. To that extent, I wish all the best for speedy recovery of Mr. Donald Trump, and wish that Americans will understand the requirements of the occasion and will take a rational decision. And God bless India, God bless world, God bless America. Thank you very much.